I cannot grasp the reality that my boys are not coming home.
Both these men, they're great cops, great family guys.
We will be there to make sure his place in history is secured, never forgotten.
It has been 1 year since 2 Metro police officers and a local man were ambushed, shot, and killed. Tonight, we remember them. I'm John Huck.
I'm Christine Medella. We have team coverage of the first anniversary of the deaths of officers Alyn Beck and Igor Soldo, as well as Joseph Wilcox. We decided not to say the names of the shooters, and instead will honor the memory of the victims and those affected by their loss.
The Metro officers were shot on June 8th while eating lunch at Cece's Pizza on Nelson Stewart. The shooters walked to a nearby Walmart where Joseph Wilcox, who had a concealed weapons permit, tried to stop them but was killed.
It's a tragic day. It's a very, very difficult day. But we still have a community to police, and we still have a community to protect. We will be out there doing it with our heads held high, but an emptiness in our hearts. It is truly a tragic day here in the Las Vegas Valley.
Memorials were held for officers Beck and Soldo and Joseph Wilcox. Thousands of people came out to pay their respects. Fox 5's team coverage of Heroes Remembered includes Rachel Moore, Carrie Kinsey, and Danielle Miller. But first, we begin with Elizabeth Watts, who shows us how the Metro Police community is honoring the lives of their fallen brothers and the Good Samaritan. Elizabeth.
That's right, Christine and John. They came together today to pay tribute. The 3 trees were dedicated to them, 2 of them in the Northeast Area Command parking lot where the officers worked, and the 3rd tree here at Walnut Park right next door to honor Joseph Wilcox.
We didn't just lose 2 officers. We lost 2 family men and brothers.
An emotional ceremony at Northeast Area Command as Metro officers remember their fallen brothers killed 1 year ago while eating lunch. 2 Japanese blueberry trees dedicated to officers Igor Soldo and Alyn Beck.
As the trees grow stronger and taller, people will continually take both pleasure and comfort in their presence.
The trees in the station's back parking lot, so when the officers come and go, they'll remember Beck and Soldo are watching over them. The squad watered them as a reminder of hope and renewal, to hope for change and a promise to keep their memories alive, something they've been doing day in and day out since June 8th, 2014.
We do what we can every day, and we'll come out here and we do our best to put bad guys in jail and, you know, come out here and support the community the best we can. And that's all we can do every day is just we come out here and we work.
We thank you.
At the neighboring park, another tree dedicated to Joseph Wilcox, the hero who walked into the unknown and stood strong for others. His family emotional, of course, on this day, but his mother loves that her son's spirit is being remembered and honored by so many, and she's thankful for the community's support.
I think it's terrific that the community's coming out for all 3 of them, because all 3 of them deserve it. None of them had a fighting chance for what happened that day, and the fact that everybody's coming out here to support the 3 of them, I love it.
While the pain from this tragedy will never go away, these trees are signs that the heroes will always be remembered.
And Wilcox's mother says she has many ways, of course, to remember her son, but this is a wonderful spot to come here and reflect, and it's great to know that he is being remembered along with the 2 officers. Reporting live tonight, Elizabeth Watts, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
And we remember the community's response to Wilcox's actions that day. Elizabeth, thank you. There is still a memorial at Cece's Pizza where officers Beck and Soldo were killed.
Fox 5's Rachel Moore is live at the restaurant on Nelson Stewart, where employees and customers continue to heal from that day as well. Rachel.
Well, John, Christine, we spoke with a woman who says that she was just a few feet away from officers Beck and Soldo when the shooting happened, and she says she remembers that day like it was yesterday. We also spoke with the owner of this Cece's Pizza, and to him, he says the day is still a blur. But he also says that it's not necessarily important to remember how these 2 officers died, but more so how they lived.
Just the total feeling of emptiness, that almost like it was a movie and you were watching it, and I was numb.
Cece's Pizza owner Mike Haskins says no one really asks why this picture hangs on the wall in his pizza parlor. He says possibly because everyone already knows this is where Officer Alyn Beck and Officer Igor Soldo spent their final moments. Some of his employees there the day they were barbarically shot and killed continue to serve their specialty pizza pies to customers who also witnessed the horrific scene.
The relationship with the employees is an unbreakable bond with the people that were here.
Haskins helped organize counseling for his employees. While a few have moved on to help heal, some customers say returning to this CC's Pizza is their coping mechanism.
The therapist said that would be, a good thing to do to help get through it.
Cherie Burns says she was sitting behind the officers and dropped to the floor after seeing the ambush.
It's been hard to get through it this year, and as it's come close to the anniversary, I've been wondering how their families are doing.
A shared concern for Haskins. He's making sure Officer Soldo and Officer Beck are remembered by their honorable service. Soon he'll mount this remembrance plaque, making the restaurant a permanent memorial site for the community.
It really made me a true Nevadan when I saw the outpour of people to support the business and the fallen officers and their families.
Now, today we saw a couple of customers come in and place flowers and a candle next to that memorial plaque that reads, "We'll never forget." Reporting live, Rachel Moore, Fox 5 News, local, Las Vegas.
And today, many in this community will never forget. Rachel, thank you. They weren't only police officers. Officers Beck and Soldo were also fathers. On Father's Day, CC's Pizza will donate a percentage of its sales to the Injured Officers Fund in honor of Beck and Soldo.
For the Soldo and Beck families, it has been 365 days of waking up in the aftermath of that awful day and learning how to move forward without their fathers and husbands. For Alyn Beck's wife, Nicole, life will never be the same. This is part of her story, in her words, only on Fox 5.
I will miss him every single day of my life. I would do anything to be able to have him back. I felt his strength, though, as I've accomplished some difficult things this year. He's pushed me forward to achieve goals like running 3 half marathons in his honor and helping make a change in legislature regarding line-of-duty death benefits in the state of Nevada. I know that he will continue to be involved in my life in the way that he can. I hope his example of goodness and strength will continue to remain in people's hearts.
To listen to Nicole Beck's entire unedited message, you can find the link on our website at fox5vegas.com under our special coverage bar, Heroes Remembered.
After the shooters killed Officers Beck and Soldo, they walked across the street to Walmart, where they planned to kill even more officers.
A bystander, Joseph Wilcox, tried to stop one of the gunmen, not knowing the other shooter was behind him. Fox 5's Kerry Kinsey spoke with Wilcox's mother, Deborah. He continues our team coverage tonight from the Walmart near Stewart and Nellis with her thoughts 1 year later. Kerry.
Well, a split-second decision cost Joseph Wilcox his life, but many people say he's still a hero.
I've said this 1,000 times. I'll say it 1,000 more times. I'm still waiting for him to walk in the door.
But Deborah Wilcox knows her son will never do that. Joseph Wilcox was just returning a computer modem to this Walmart on North Nellis Boulevard. Tagging along was his friend of more than 16 years, Jeremy Tanner. Jeremy says he saw the shooters.
I heard somebody yelling and screaming and shouting, just this is a revolution. I kind of froze, not sure what to make of this. And then next thing I see Joseph going for his gun, and he went after her.
Joseph, with his Glock 19 9mm handgun, is headed towards one of the gunmen. His mom understands why he took action. Deborah says mass shootings angered her son, especially the Aurora, Colorado incident in July of 2012 when a gunman killed 12 people at a movie theater.
And Joseph used to get so upset when I was like, what right do they have? Oh, no, he didn't like it. It disturbed him. So when that happened that day, it doesn't surprise me, because I'm guessing his main thought was, if he doesn't go in, this guy's going to kill people, and a lot of people, and these people didn't deserve to die. And why didn't this guy and this girl just stay home if they were so unhappy with everything, just blow their own brains out?
Nobody can imagine how Deborah feels after her son was taken from her during a senseless shooting rampage.
God forgive me, you're not supposed to be grateful someone's gone. I'm glad they're gone. I'm glad. Because if he can't be here, they don't deserve to be here.
Deborah says she's gone through different stages of grief. Where is she now?
Mine is just still missing Joseph, just wanting him to come home, just not understanding. I don't get this. It just doesn't make sense. How do you lose a child? I don't get it. But as far as thinking about them, they're not worth my thoughts.
And a bit of irony here. Joseph wanted to be a police officer, but Deborah wasn't on board because she said she didn't want to get a call from someone saying, your son has died in the line of duty. Does she think about that now?
More times than you can count. It's like he was determined. Okay, it's like that's what he was supposed to do. Is to be out there to help people, to save people. Yeah, that goes through my mind a lot. Everything I didn't want him to do, I still got the call at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I think about that a lot.
You would think that this woman who has gone through so much would get a sense of comfort from people who tell her that her son was a hero. But that's not necessarily the case.
I heard a lot of that in the beginning, people telling me, your son's a hero. He's been declared a hero. And yes, he is a hero, but all that went through my head then is he's your hero, but he's my son. My son he's never coming home again.
Deborah tells me when she sees surveillance video of her son at that Walmart, she just wants to pluck him off the TV and return him home. Kerry Kinsey, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
You can hear the anguish in her voice as any mother would show. Kerry, thank you.
Not more than 24 hours after tragedy rocked our community 1 year ago, those who call this community home stepped up in a big way.
Dozens of fundraisers were held to help the families of the fallen. Fox 5's Danielle Miller is in the newsroom now and tells us how much money was raised and how it helped the department cope. Danielle.
John, Christine, everything from donations to cards, candles, and flowers poured in following this devastating event. Now, those closest with these officers who lost their lives that day say this type of support didn't only pour in from our own community, but from people across the country.
That month or two right after that event, we were extremely busy. This community pulled together and, sorry.
President of the Injured Police Officers Fund, Richard Goldgart, emotional, recalling the outpouring of support from the community when tragedy struck 1 year ago.
We start fundraising immediately. We create a bank account that people can donate.
The nonprofit organization helps officers who are injured in the line of duty. It also helps to lessen the burden financially for the families of officers who paid the ultimate price, like Alyn Beck and Igor Soldo. During the weeks following the horrific tragedy, events were held all over the valley to raise money. The money raised during these fundraisers, more than $900,000. 100% of that going to the families of the fallen.
It can never lessen the burden on it, but for us in law enforcement, it definitely showed that the community was there to support us and help us and be by our side.
Goldgart says this tragedy hit the department in a way like nothing else has, but it was the support from the community that helped them hold their heads high during their darkest days.
I think for all of us in law enforcement, especially in Southern Nevada, understood that if something happens like this again, that the community will support us and won't turn their back on us.
But even with all the love, support, and messages of hope from the community, Goldgart says it's been hard to put what happened to their brothers behind them. Some officers still afraid to enjoy their lunch hour.
I don't think we can now. There was a long time that officers would not bring, would bring their lunch to work and not go out and eat anywhere within the community.
And Goldgart says officers are injured daily and they are always in need of funds. Now, tomorrow there's several Coffee with the Cop events going on throughout the entire community from 7 to 9 in the morning. Now, here you can donate to the Injured Police Officers Fund, and we have a link to all the locations around the community on our website, fox5vegas.com. Live in the newsroom, Danielle Miller, Fox 5 News Local, Las Vegas.
Danielle, thank you. And also tomorrow morning during breakfast hours, all local McDonald's locations will be donating $1 from the sale of any premium breakfast item.
Before the break, a tribute to Officer Igor Soldo.
Great man. Once again, if I'm only half of the man that he is, I will be a happy, happy man.